All right, my friends, welcome to episode 363 of Prof and Dev Play Games. My name is Larry, and I am the professor. Over there is Anthony, the dev. Before we get started, I want to offer a sincere apology, not a joke apology. For a while, I threw shade at the fucking Last of Us for the remake. Like,
Oh,
what the fuck is the point of this? But I was listening to a podcast talking about accessibility, and I don't really use those settings, so I didn't think about it, but um, for some people at least, the Last of Us, the original one, was unplayable. And Last of Us 2 was playable because of all the accessibility settings. So people who need those settings to play games were able to play Last of Us 2. So because Last of Us remake it came out with those settings that Last of Us 2 had, some people were actually able to play it for the first time. So I now understand there was at least one point for that game
yeah.
being remade twice. So good.
I mean, yes. I think that is very true, and that is a good reason to incorporate those things. Um, I'm sure a lot of it, even being weird that a remakes for that game have happened a couple times now. It probably also, beyond accessibility, it just helps for people wanting to play it now and always. And you have a TV show coming out, so
Oh yeah.
make it even more accessible and more available to anyone who just was like, I just want to play this game, and boom, it's right there.
Yep.
It's whatever. And yeah, the accessibility piece is really good though. Like that's huge.
Yeah, it's really really cool. So I'm glad that I guess it could have been an update, but I don't know if you can lay on those kind of accessibility features to an older game. I think you'd need to have an updated code probably.
Yeah, you're gonna. I'm sure there was a cost analysis of like, oh, you could put that stuff in, but the amount of work you're gonna do anyway, might as well just start fresh.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's the remake. Remake 2 is, that's what we'll call it. It clearly had a lot of love put into it. A lot more than what the first, I guess, remake was, which was much more of a like, hey, we're just remastering this PS3 game overall. We're not drastically changing things to it. It's just like, yep, some better graphics, better textures, but it's the game you know and love. Where the PS5 remake, I mean, they updated a lot in that. Like, whole new game, kind of.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what they wanted to do originally, and they just couldn't justify doing it back however many years ago the PS4 one was.
Yeah, that was 20. Wow, shit. When was that? 2017? 2016? No, that's not right. No, it was like 2014
Yeah, it was like close to this
to the launch.
launch. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was like,
Because I thought it came out 2013 on PS3 and then maybe 2014.
it did. 2014 was like a year late. Like, it was one of those things. I think it's just, I mean, honestly, because it came out so close to the end of the PS3 life cycle. Yeah, I could see them just being like, okay, we're just gonna get this out.
Yeah.
And it's kind of sad that the PS4 launches a year later, and Naughty Dog can't have their like seminal work really on the PS4.
Right.
No backwards compatibility. You can't play that game, so better have a PS3.
Like, we want more people
Yeah.
to play this. We're going to put it on the 4, or not the 5, and maybe the
Yeah.
6. We'll see.
It's true. I mean, if the TV show does well,
Oh,
better believe this game is going to be
Oh,
made
yeah.
available all the time.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And I mean, god damn, every time they show a trailer, I'm like, God, am I going to buy HBO? Am I going to get HBO to watch this? I didn't get HBO to
I'll
watch
get a few months, probably.
Yeah.
Why not?
I didn't get it to watch Game of Thrones, but I'm going to get it to watch this. What the heck?
And then while you have it, you can watch some Game of Thrones.
Yeah, exactly. I heard it was good.
But yeah.
The sequel or prequel or
I
whatever.
did. I heard it was generally pretty good.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna get HBO to watch through Last of Us.
Yeah.
Like, it looks really good.
It does.
Which is a great segue into our topic tonight on the Game Awards, because one of the awards had the Joels and Ellies meet on
I
stage.
thought that was so cool to see them all together on stage.
I did.
Pedro and
And I'm
Bella
sure that
yeah.
they've talked before.
Oh,
I mean,
They're
they've
on
been
s-
in the
they've been in the movie, so
they're in the
or series,
show.
I mean,
Yeah. You can briefly, in the latest trailer, you can briefly see Ashley Johnson and Troy Baker in their respective parts.
Ashley Johnson is gonna play Ellie's mom, right?
I'm pretty sure,
Yeah.
which is incredibly meta.
Oh my god,
I'm going to be
so
honest.
meta. So meta. Such a good choice.
Because
that's true.
Ellie's mom is never actually shown in the games. They never flash back to her mom. They just reference like what had happened with Ellie's mom, like why she's not there. But they never. So that's a perfect thing that they were going to probably do some flashback to, and that's Ashley Johnson who gives birth to Ellie, which is ridiculous, honestly. Well done, perfect.
Very cool.
But it was neat to see them on stage together and just, I don't know, clearly like Pedro Pascal and
Bella
Ramsey.
Yeah,
Bella Ramsey. I mean, to get into their to play these characters, they've, I'm sure, played the game, watched it a ton, and watched Ashley and Troy's performances on the whole thing. So I don't know. It felt like they all had a lot of respect for each other and what they've done. So I'm excited.
Yeah, and it's mid-January,
15th, I think.
Okay, that sounds right. So yeah, the game awards were pretty awesome. I mean, the best game awards I've ever seen.
Yeah, hands down.
Fuck.
We'll get into this a little bit here. I would say from announcement side, hands down, best.
Yeah.
Like when Keely was been saying like this is gonna be a really good one, he was right. And so little of all of this leaked. I think Jedi Survivor leaked.
Yeah. Exactly.
Early.
Yeah.
But that's it.
Yep.
Like so much of this, no one had a clue about.
Dude, Hades 2 not leaking, like that's amazing.
Oh, it's so good.
Like if that had leaked, it would have been sad. Because that was I like when that anime started or whatever, I was like, this looks like Hades. What the fuck? Supergiant. This is Hades. It's got to be Hades. What the fuck? They're doing a sequel.
Yeah.
I was like, the rest of the night, I don't care about.
Yeah. Good. So yeah, they landed the announcements, and then I still feel like the actual awards are second fiddle to the announcements.
Yes.
But if you took the announcements out, I still think the awards were done better than they've done in previous years.
Absolutely.
Overall.
I agree.
Like, while there's not as many of them that they give out during the middle of the show, I think it's like 10 maybe total out of all of them, because a lot of them are done during the pre-show or quickly, which is fine. It's funny how they go through the entire like esports ones in like 30 seconds. Yep. They're just like, yeah, no one actually cares about this right here. I'm
surprised they keep doing those awards, but whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a segment of the audience that probably cares, and it's enough that it doesn't take a lot of their time to do it. And I imagine to a point it feels good for the people winning those awards, because there's probably not a huge amount of awards for esports overall. Like, you either win titles through that, but there's not a lot of just other recognition of, hey, people really respect you as an esports player, team, coach kind of thing.
Yep.
So yeah, so they get through those quickly. The pre-show, they did smaller ones, like they did best mobile game in the pre-show.
Marvel Snap, baby.
Yep, of course. That
should have been game of the year instead of Stray, to be honest.
Oh yeah. So yeah, that stuff. So I think the awards themselves were generally better overall, and then the announcements were just hands down better than they've ever been.
The announcements were off the charts. I feel like the awards, like I don't think there are really any surprises. Nothing felt very surprising to me, at least.
No, not at all.
That's fine. Like, it's the answer. Actually, you know what? Splatoon 3 winning best multiplayer was a little weird, because Nintendo winning a multiplayer award.
It's true.
It's funny, but whatever.
I haven't played Splatoon, so I wouldn't know. But I hear everyone really likes Splatoon.
Yes,
so
they're raving, and we'll talk about that during what we've been playing today, but not 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think here. Overwatch 2 was not winning that.
Oh, hell no.
Multiverses is fine, but it's hard for me to see a fighting game winning this category. Modern Warfare 2. I don't know. It's actually Modern Warfare 2 has been having kind of a hellish time,
Oh, really?
kind
Okay.
of. Not in a horrible way, but they've had some growing pains with this one and like rolling out um, their modes and everything I've heard. So, and Shredder's Revenge is fine, but I don't see why it would stand out as best multiplayer.
Yeah.
Like, I get we can co-op multiplayer in it.
Yep.
That's cool, but
It was cool, damn
that
it.
doesn't stand out though.
No, you're right.
Like,
Yeah, maybe that's why Splatoon 3
I
was
really
on
think
this.
on that list, I'm like, it's Splatoon 3 or Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah.
But at least as far as I can tell with Splatoon games, Nintendo does do a good job of making interesting multiplayer out of it. With their Splatfests and everything like that. Like, they at least have some design going into it. Oh, they have design going into the multiplayer experience that's more than just like this is standard shooter stuff.
Right.
So I could see it winning there. But I don't. Yeah, award wise, I don't think there's any major surprises. I mean,
Ragnarok won a lot, but not Game of the Year. Elden Ring.
or it didn't win Game of the Year or Game Direction.
Oh, I didn't. Oh, you're right. It was. Well, I mean that makes sense, but yeah, you're right.
Or Art Direction.
The art one is so interesting to me because Elden Ring won art direction, and a lot of people are like, "Duh, of course," but I don't know, man. The art doesn't strike me in Elden Ring. Let me rephrase that. The character art doesn't strike me. The
Sure.
environment art really does.
It does. Yeah. Weirdly, if I'm really thinking about best art direction, I think honestly, if I'm taking it as a whole, like an entire game as a whole, I think actually I would go Horizon.
So would
on
I.
it.
100%.
Horizon is prettier
Yep.
than Ragnarok and Elden Ring,
Yeah.
and its mocap is better, its facial animation's better, its models like yeah, it's just art direction wise, I think Horizon won, which is probably the biggest loser of this entire thing is Horizon.
Did it win a damn thing?
Didn't win a damn thing.
Yeah, exactly. And I think Horizon should have won art direction, to be honest. I agree with you, but yeah, it really got nominated, so that's nice for it, I guess. But
Yeah,
boy.
it just came out in another year but I don't think I feel bad for the team in some ways.
Yeah.
I mean, it sold a lot, so I can't feel that bad for them. Like, it's critically acclaimed, sold well, but you also came out in a year where Elden Ring came out a week after you, and you got God of War
Again.
Ragnarok. Like, I'm sorry, like you made a really good game, but this is a year of some really incredible games. So
they're on such a cycle where they are releasing around like great games that then release around them again the next cycle. It's just like
yeah,
it just sucks for them.
hold a year.
Right, because like honestly, I'm going through Game of the Year consideration and thinking about what I'm gonna put up there, and I keep coming back to Horizon, and it's just I don't know, such a great experience, and I'm very excited.
I did have a good time
DLC
with
got
it.
announced.
Yeah, but you get to watch the ruins of Hollywood in
Yeah,
LA.
the Burning Shores, LA. I think Tower Records is in one of those shots.
I'm sure it is. That's such an iconic building. So it's iconic for our generation because I'm pretty sure that's the building that got destroyed in Independence Day.
I don't remember that, but probably.
Like when the aliens.
I mean, I haven't seen that movie since like '96 or whatever it came out.
I know. I'm pretty sure that's the building that got destroyed when they're showing the montage of the aliens destroying all the different things across the world.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's totally the building.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, the circular building. Yep.
I am stoked to jump back into that. I'm really glad.
Yeah.
Like Ragnar or God of War, they don't do any DLC. They don't do expansions. And I'm really glad Horizon always does one. I mean, now.
Yeah.
I guess we can say always. But yeah, they are the biggest losers of the night, other than that fucking kid who jumped on there when Elden Ring team was talking.
The ultimate troll who's just wanting to win internet points,
Whoa,
basically.
Fucking look what fucking internet points has done to our fucking society. People like doing this kind of shit to get fake points.
Yep.
Ugh.
I mean, it's dumb. It's real dumb.
Yeah.
I'm also like, I understand. As Jeff, I'd be pissed. I'm going like, where the fuck was my security?
Yes, exactly.
Why is this person on stage?
Yep.
Which I haven't gone back and watched how he managed to get up there.
Yeah.
If he just kind of ducked in with the group as they were going up, basically.
That's what he did, yeah.
but like how far back was he? Where was he? And like how, like I'm like, wasn't anyone watching this person like running up to get in this group? And like I don't know, body slamming them as they're trying to get close to the game devs.
Yep.
Because I'm pretty sure at a concerts that would happen. You'd get taken out.
Well,
I've seen people taken out at concerts trying to get up close
I've seen
to
people taken
bands.
out by the fucking band. But someone had said, because I was thinking about, it's scary because like Salman Rushdie just got fucking stabbed. Dimebag Darrell got fucking shot when this kind of shit happened. And the Game Awards this night was the same night, not the same year, but the same night that Dimebag Darrell got shot on stage. And it's just like, fuck, man. Like, where was security? And he wasn't arrested. Keeley said he was arrested, but he wasn't arrested. He was just detained and questioned and then released. Just thinks it's funny. I love the I'm not gonna read his article because fuck this kid, but for some reason Polygon interviewed him, and they said, nonetheless, this reporter can now confirm that no matter the original intent of his prank, and they say his name, so XXX is unfortunately not that creative.
Yeah.
What a fucking loser.
Yeah.
He's done it before.
Yep.
So, and he'll do it again.
Yep. Internet points. Got to get those somethings. I don't know. Likes, karma, thumbs up, whatever.
I mean, boy, you couldn't just be like, fucking Elden Ring's the best. Thank you, guys.
Nope.
Jesus. I hate everything sometimes.
Yeah, pretty much. But there's a lot in this not to hate. So let's
focus on that.
Let's go through this a bit. I mean, we talked Hades 2. That was fucking incredible.
Let's just talk about Hades 2.
I was losing my shit.
Yeah, me too, dude.
So much. And I continue to lose my shit every time I think that we're actually getting a sequel to Hades.
So we've got a protagonist who is Zag's sister. And she's on the surface.
Did you... I don't know if you got... I had an email from...
Oh, yeah.
Supergiant. I'm on the list, and they actually had like a fact about this, and it's Malone. And this is a real character from Greek mythology who is like only mentioned in like one hymn.
Oh, shit.
That's it. But I mean, it's how Zagreus is only mentioned in like a very tiny, tiny paragraph somewhere. Like, so they're digging deep into, I would say, the deep cuts of Greek mythology, but they found this character, Malone, that is referenced as Hades' daughter. And has connections to Persephone, and so they're running with that.
Well, I think it's really cool, and I don't know if it's there or someone else where the conjecture came from, but because she's on the surface and Zag's below and doesn't reach the surface.
You're going down.
Yeah, you're fighting to get in.
Yeah.
Whereas Zag's fighting to get out, and it's like that's fucking cool if that's how it's gonna be, and that's like this. I love that simplicity.
I assume it is. I mean.
So it makes sense, right?
At the end, it talks about she's like, I'm coming to save you, Father, which is Hades, who we've just seen, who's chained by Kronos.
Yep.
We can assume, or other Titans. So this is you fighting the Titans to descend and free Hades.
I am so glad that Supergiant's like, you know what? We always want to take a challenge with our new games. We decided to do a challenge of trying to do a sequel and try to follow up on one of the best games. Yeah, we'll try that. Like, thank Christ, dude. Like.
I mean, I really had reconciled myself that we got Hades and it was incredible and we're never getting more of it.
Yep.
Like I was okay. I was like sad that we're never going to get more, but okay with it being like, because this was an incredible experience that I spent almost 200 hours playing.
Well, and we got Hades because we didn't get Pyre 2, for example. And,
yes.
And with Supergiant, as opposed to like, I fucking feel like any other developer, every single game they put out is good in a different way. Not on Hades level, but still like. Transistor is great. Bastion's great. Pyre was, I had fun with it. I didn't finish it, but I had fun with it. But God, Hades was an obsession.
Yeah, no, they've had quality. Like we've talked before, Hades is like the pinnacle of what they've made. I see the DNA of every game that they've made come together in Hades in a way that none of their other games came together. And Transistor I loved.
Yes, I think Transistor's the best. I mean, I like Bastion, but Transistor's the best before Hades for me.
I would agree. In mine too. Like I loved Transistor.
Yep.
But it definitely like Hades shows. I'm like, well, of course Hades is better because you are a more experienced team at this point.
Yeah.
Like, you've made great games and you're just learning and applying those lessons. So how couldn't it not be better? I mean, even Pyre, while it didn't, I think, excite people as much, I played a good amount of it.
Yep.
It wasn't a bad game at all. It was very, very much their style of game. It had a lot more reading in it than previous games.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of reading. And the sports thing, I don't think landed for a lot of people. But in general, I was like, okay, it was, I see where they took the lessons they learned there as like that. Clearly, even them have joked going like, that's not our best game, but they learned from it and made Hades from everything that they've learned. So, holy crap, we're gonna get a sequel.
First of all, fucking awesome. It's not 2023, right? This is further out.
Early access starts in 2023.
Oh my god, I'm so excited.
I just don't know if I'm gonna do early access. I didn't do early access with the first Hades.
I did. I played Hades for only a couple of hours, and it felt cool. But I was like, I'm gonna play this when it's full release because I don't want to,
Yeah.
I want that full experience. But I don't know if I can wait. I don't know. Fuck, I don't know, man.
Yeah, that's my problem.
I feel like there's no harm in buying early access, and then I'll have access to it when it finally comes out, so I can like dip my toes in. But fuck, man, I really don't think I'll be able to wait.
Yeah. So the main character, Melone, is the Greek goddess of ghosts.
Oh, interesting.
And I know that it's you can tell that, and they've talked about it in their fact, that it's going to tie into early witchcraft and how early witchcraft and like Greek mythology are incredibly tied together. God, these are Greg Kasavin is such a nerd with this stuff.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, it's a pretty deep dive there.
It is a really deep dive, and I'm like, but I mean, Hades was a really deep dive in a lot of ways. Clearly they did like just a huge amount of research into Greek myth, mythology, and all the different ways that it's been told and retold and shaped by modern cultures. I'm just like, oh boy, they're gonna go so deep on this.
I mean, there's so many fucking characters.
Yeah.
That they have to.
And I'm pretty sure the witch that's training her is either Hecate or Arrhenius.
I don't know that name.
They're both other prime witches in Greek mythology.
I know Hecate, but I don't know the other one. That's cool.
So I figure that's likely who they are. And she's also Melone is referenced as a moon goddess as well, so that makes sense in the animation. They're like fighting with a moon in the background, and they highlight the moon there all the time. Yeah. I'm gonna nerd out at this. This is gonna be so cool. The character designs, just chef kiss. Fuck, their art is so good.
It's really good. Man, one of the best games of all time is getting a sequel. Wrap it up. Yeah. It's the best game awards ever if they said, and we're done.
We're done. And for me, they moved right into a shocking reveal of Ken Levine's next game. Judas, which is actually, I'm like, that's actually a pretty badass name. I'm gonna be honest.
It is. When they revealed it, I was leading a meeting at the time on a Zoom meeting, so I had it in the background on mute, and I was looking. I was like, that's a great title. Is this BioShock? What the fuck is this?
It looks like BioShock. I mean,
really
you look
does.
at it and you're like, okay, this is clearly by the minds who made BioShock. They're not. I doubt it's tied to BioShock, although Ghost Story is still part of 2K. And 2K is the owner of the franchise.
They could have some sort of
connection, and I wouldn't surprise me. The thing is, this game has been in development a long time. Or, I don't know if this game has been in development, but Ken Levine has been working very hard on, the last GDC I went to almost a decade ago. I saw a talk by him, and he was talking about a thing called narrative Legos. And I think you can find this talk online. But it was mostly a talk on going like, well, why do games have to tell their stories like books and movies? This is an interactive medium. Like, what can we do?
Yeah.
what as a narrative, a designer and a person who likes to write and make narratives, what does the medium of video games really let me do that differentiates it from writing a book or a choose your own adventure book even like and what can you make a game that has really strong narrative that is constructed like I'm going to sit down and play a game of Civilization. Every game of Civilization is a different game. My choices matter. The game plays out differently because of my choices. How can you apply that to narrative so that things are truly different when you play it? That was his talk 10 years ago about. And I know that every once in a while he'll surface, and I'm pretty sure that's the same stuff he's just been chewing on for a decade.
So
I'm pretty sure this game is going to, and Keeley said that after the Judas trailer played, that he was able to fly out to Boston and play it for a few hours and was incredibly excited with what they were doing with narrative.
Like this weekend he was able to do that?
No, before.
Oh, I see.
Months ago.
Got it.
Whenever they were probably pitching to do the trailer, an announcement. Like,
yeah, right.
But he got to play their alpha, probably. And so, I don't know. Like, he's been working on this. Levine said that he wants to use systems like the Nemesis system in Middle Earth, but
nice.
In a much heavier way, not just like this little side thing that happens. Like, what if this is the whole, like, the game is built around things like that happening?
That would be fucking rad, because that system has so much potential.
Yeah. He wants to include, he wants to find ways to include larger meta narratives in the game to customize the story and the dialogue as to play, depending on what the player is doing and what they have done and how the world's changing. So, I mean, it's very ambitious. I'll say that.
Yeah. Will
it land? I don't know, but to me, it's kind of cool. I'm like, I can't believe we're gonna get at least an attempt at this.
Was there a release date at all, or a window, or anything?
Nope.
Okay. So we're
I would expect 2024 potentially. Yeah. I doubt it's next year.
Yeah. That sounds right to me.
But that, like, we went Hades 2 to Judas. Yeah. For me, I was like, I'm done. You've given me everything I need. You do not have to tell me anything else for the rest of the night. Yeah, that was pretty incredible.
And we still had great stuff the rest of the night. I mean, stuff that we knew, like Suicide Squad, still had surprises where it showed Kevin Conroy's, if
it's his last performance.
Unless he's doing, I thought he might have been on the docket to do Batman for a animated series too, but maybe not. So this may be it.
Yeah.
Last performance. And they, instead of, I don't think, it was a reveal of Batman, so I don't think it was known Batman was going to be in it, even though kind of seemed likely.
Well, it's Suicide Squad kills the Justice League. I would expect they're going to mess with them. I enjoy that they're making the Justice League all evil in this.
Yeah.
Like, of course. I don't know. I found the trailer pretty funny overall.
I thought it was good. I mean, I wasn't listening with sound. I just saw it, and I was like, what the Flash?
Oh, yeah. No, watching with sound, I was like, it's funny.
Yeah. Cool. But it was cool to have Batman revealed there. So even, like, the stuff that you knew about, like, still had some hype moments, like the Street Fighter 6 as well. We know that's coming out, but with the release date and a couple new characters, I'm excited about that one.
Yeah.
So, God, what else stood out in terms of reveals? I mean, I know there were a couple for Kojima, Death Stranding 2.
We got Death Stranding 2, which makes no sense to me.
Nope.
Like always. But it was a trailer with some good music going on through a lot of a small little narrative that I have no clue of understanding of where it fits in with anything. But cool. The walking simulator returns.
Yeah, exactly. Something that I was really excited to see was the Mario movie clip. It was like a minute and a half.
Yeah.
Just straight up. And I thought it looks fucking amazing. There's so much authenticity to it. I thought Pratt sounded a little better.
That continues to be my problem. I'm like, he's getting close to being Mario.
Yeah.
But I can still hear Pratt.
Exactly.
And I'm like, no,
Yeah,
like I
that's
don't want to hear you at all.
exactly.
Like,
I agree.
but I'm like, yes, the sound design was incredible. Like they
Yes.
nailed the sound effects,
Hmm.
they nailed the Easter eggs in that little trail like clip.
Yeah, there was one. Fuck. What was it? There was something that was so quick and it went by so fast. I was like, I need to go back and watch that because there was something there. So there's just a ton of those little things. But
Yeah,
I just, it was fucking funny. I thought it was funny. I thought
yeah.
it was well done. Like I might go to the theater to watch this. Like I'm that
Oh,
excited.
okay.
I really, really want to see this. It looks
I
like
hope
it could be
I
good.
hope it's good because if it's good, that probably means we get a Zelda movie,
Oh,
and then Chris Pratt can voice Princess Zelda. Sure, why not?
what if he voiced Link? The first Link voice, sure, fuck, first voice
Voiced
Link
by
ever
Link,
gets
and
is
then
fucking Chris Pratt.
no, I would love it to be voiced by him, and then Link has no lines through the entire thing.
They cast him, and he's like goes in the booth. He's like, okay, I'm ready. Why is this blank? Because Link doesn't say anything. He hides.
Uh,
Yeah, huh, yeah. Oh
yeah,
my
that's all you
god.
get to do. You get to do the battles, the
Well, it's
grunts.
it's so funny that he's like a a voiceless protagonist, but then when you read the manga, he doesn't shut up. You're like, okay,
Pretty
so
much.
Link talks, okay, just not in the games, I guess.
Not in the games. In the games, he will never talk. Um, yeah, I did think the trailer itself, like from a love being done to like just for the franchise and like knowledge of it. Clearly, they know what
Yep,
they're doing there. And really, I like all the rest of the voices. It's just Mario is such a distinct voice, and
so distinct.
that's just hard for me to have it like slightly tweaked. And I'm like, I don't. You had it right.
Yep.
You didn't need to change it. It's fine.
Well, there's
Like,
somebody, and I don't know who it is, but they're doing all the trailers that come out, overdubbing Chris Pratt voice with Charles Martinet is doing it. It's just like, you know what? When that movie comes out, like, will there be a director or whatever, like a secondary version where
hey,
Charles Martinet does all the fucking voice?
deep faked audio,
Yeah,
just
dude.
replacing it.
Yeah.
I'm sure we're at that point where that could happen. So,
We're at the point where we can write fucking research papers using
uh
fucking AI now. So
huh. A guy at work this week who was like, just wanted to try, was it Chat GPT
yeah,
or the,
ChatGPT. Yeah. Mhm.
they're like, I've heard they can write code. Let's see what it
Code.
does. And he was just like, I want an algorithm in for Unreal that does X, Y, and Z, and he had a specific prompt of it needs to do these type of things and like a general structure, and it gave him what he needed. He's like,
Oh.
I had to spend like a half an hour tweaking it to make sure it like clean up a little bit,
Yeah.
but he's like, it saved me about 7 hours of work. um,
Oh my God, Anthony.
and it's because it's Unreal. Like the thing is with Unreal, because it's trained on stuff that's out on the internet,
It's like open source or whatever.
open source and
Yeah.
train, and Unreal is open source, so all the code's available, and there's just huge amounts of people that have written documentation for the code.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of it can learn. The AI has a lot to learn off of there. But I was like, I can just get the AI to write the code I don't want to write. This is gonna be amazing.
At least give you a first draft, right? Because
Uh-huh.
I was talking to my mother-in-law about it, and she was talking about the implications for like English and essays or whatever. And I was like, to be honest, sometimes like the hardest thing is that blank page to get a first draft that you can like build off of. Like I wouldn't want my students to do that or me to do that, but I think that's a starting point. Like we got to work on. They have tools, so how do we teach them how to use the tools?
We
Or
are Our kids are going to be in a fundamentally different world than us
oh yeah,
when it comes to this point.
yep,
Like we got the internet, and that felt amazing that we have access to everything. They're going to have, honestly, at this point, they'll have phones. Then just be like, I need this right now, like this piece of something created, and it will just do it.
right. But then it's about what do you do with the thing, and that's the
Yeah.
critical thinking piece that
Yep.
never will go away. Or I mean,
It,
obviously it's gonna
sure.
away in some elections, but in general
Yeah.
it shouldn't.
But oh boy,
Yeah, dude. But
this
I give
rabbit
it
hole.
I give it a prompt. I said write a song about Jamie Lannister at the end of the world found by a robot who thinks he's the last knight. And it wrote this fucking song that was completely logical, had some background for Jamie Lannister that I didn't tell it, and then like some really subtle imagery about not only him being the last knight, but then at the very end of the song, it switched it and said, "And the robot and Jaime Lannister worked together to bring, like light to the world or something like that." I was like, "What the fuck? This is actually not bad." I'm gonna maybe I'll use this.
This is
Yeah.
It's insane.
It is.
So yes, that's a thing that's happening. Back to Game Awards.
Yeah, sorry, that was a big fucking tangent.
Is it? We got Diablo 4 trailer, which I joked about because it has the kind of like monk walking like barefoot through molten hell.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Basically, I was like, oh, this is like what they made women at Blizzard go through.
Shit. Damn, savage.
Or what the dev team's going through right now, because there's been a lot of stuff coming out that
there's been a lot
crunching
of Absolutely,
pretty
dude.
fucking hard to get this thing out for June.
And like, we're not gonna make it.
They're like, you're gonna make it. They're giving him incentives, not forcing them to say, but giving him incentives to have like free food delivered and like $25 vouchers on other things here and there. If you stay and work longer and stay through dinner and things like that.
Jesus fucking Christ, man.
I'm like, just slip the goddamn game. Like, it's gonna sell whenever you put it out.
Yep.
Just let it slide. It doesn't matter.
Well, Bobby Kotick, he's like, well, the reason why our stock price slipped is because Diablo 4 slipped. Like, no, it's because you're a fucking predator, dude.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe people should invest in video game companies that are very hit or miss and not consistent on release dates.
Yes. Right. Blizzard
is making games is inconsistent. Yep. I'll tell you that. Exactly.
You'll make money, but someday.
Exactly.
So
but the trailer looked really cool.
Yeah.
God damn it! They had Tyrael open his wing. I was like, oh fuck. Just the image of Tyrael. I'm like, that is just seared into my nostalgic brain for the rest of my life.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're getting so June release date. It looks good. The previews have been not previews, but the fucking whatever alpha builds shit, friends and family shit or whatever it is. People have been saying really good things about it.
Yep.
Just god damn it, with Microsoft or with the FTC suing Microsoft to stop the merger, which sounds like a legal ploy to get them to force concessions on them.
Yeah, I had to go check again because they did. You posted, I think, the thing on Twitter, and then my God, it was so hard to find any articles.
Yeah.
That really delved into it, and yes, they never filed it in any federal courts.
Right.
It is not them doing this would never stop it.
Yes,
like
that's right.
It's literally just allows them to start more processes if they want. They can investigate it more. They can ask for concessions. They can get concessions, but it's not like they're not in any kind of like federal court suing Blizzard.
Well, they made kind of announced it against the backdrop of complaining very loudly that Microsoft promised the European market that the Bethesda games would be available on other consoles, and then they didn't do it. They basically lied about it. So they're like, we're gonna have to sue you to make concessions that are legally binding.
Yeah.
So it makes me think it's still gonna go through, and the reason why I want it to go through is because I want to play Diablo. And I'm not going to do it while that fuckface is in charge.
Yeah.
And I'm sticking to my goddamn guns.
I will too, because there's a number of other things coming out then, and I do have to make choices. That's like June 4th, I believe, is Diablo, or June 6th?
June 6th, I think.
June 6th, because Street Fighter 6 is June 4th.
I thought Street Fighter 6 was June 23rd, but
that could be right. I'm getting these, but either way, there's that. But there's another trailer in here for Final Fantasy 16. And it got dated as June 22nd.
So that's the game that we got to play.
Yeah, I'm playing that far over Diablo 4 at this point. I'm ready for that game. It looks great. They showed another trailer. I assume there's probably... what trailers? We've gotten, like, Ambition... or if this was Revenge. They all had like names. I can't remember what the first one was. But basically, they're just setting the tone. I love the tone of the world. I like
Oh my
what I've
god, it's
seen
so
so
neat.
far of like what it just how it looks, how it's gonna play. They showed it some party combat in this trailer, or at least briefly. Or like you're not fighting alone. There's other party members. I think they're just AI controlled. Um, who knows if you can control them? But I don't know. I'm in, and I'm sorry, Diablo 4. I love you, Diablo, but uh, at this point, I am ready for a mainline Final Fantasy, and especially one done by the team who made 14.
Yep.
So, um,
No, there's gonna be
holy
so much to
crap.
play that fucking. I mean, there's so much to play right now. That I'll still have in my backlog then. Another one that I didn't see until now. I didn't realize there was a trailer for the next game from the Celeste
Yep.
developers, Earthblade, which pixel art platformer set in like a fantasy world, but it has the Celeste DNA to it. Um,
Yeah, they're definitely. I mean, it has. I mean, it has combat and stuff going on,
yeah.
I believe.
hmm
So their take on Castlevania esque.
I was thinking, and this is funny. I'm going to say this because of what was revealed. I was like, oh, it kind of
Yeah.
looks like Dead Cells a little bit. Not looks like it, but has a feeling of Dead Cells. But then
Yeah.
we had Dead Cells
Sells
fucking return to Castlevania.
Castlevania. Yep.
Holy shit.
As DLC for Dead Cells
Oh my
next
god.
year. Like,
That's like
I
out of fucking
sure.
left field, man.
I know.
And I'm here for it. That sounds fucking great.
It does. Like, again, look at all these reveals that happened during the show. Like,
Oh,
just. And that wasn't even during the show. That was during the pre show. That was the first trailer they showed.
right. Like, wow, we're going to start off with a fucking bang.
Yeah.
Um,
What's coming through later in the show? Street Fighter 6 is June 2nd.
oh, June 2nd. Okay.
So it's that, and then it's Diablo 4, and then um, Final Fantasy 16, all in June so far. Um,
Hell of a month.
it is hell of a month. I'm gonna be on. The other thing with Diablo 4 that makes me, I don't know if it's unhappy, but has pulled me back. I went to the pre-order page, not what was posted in Discord before, long
Mm,
before that. I looked
hmm
at it and I was like, oh, it has a season pass. I don't know if I want Diablo with a season pass. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
Not that I'm like anti-season pass, kind of really. I'm like, cool if I'm playing a game, but I also don't want that type of weird pressure while playing Diablo. Like
Of
it's a
like you're going to
weird,
miss stuff.
yeah, or miss it, or like I need to be playing this game because I'm progressing this path. I'm like, I don't want to progress a pass. I want to progress my character.
Yeah.
Like it's this weird thing where I'm like, I don't inherently am like, oh, this will be bad for the game, but I'm like, wow, I hadn't really realized how much there's a purity to the loop of Diablo in 1, 2, and 3, where I'm like, I don't want this interrupted by this uh, meta game going on.
Yeah.
I'm like, huh. So that's actually pulled me back a bit. I mean, like, I don't know. Like, I'm sure I'll play this, but once they're owned by Microsoft, but I don't want to feel the pressure that I'm like, oh, I'm not completing my pass sort of feeling.
Right. Yeah. Like,
Like,
kind of like on Snap where, you look through the thing and you're like, okay, I need to do those things. I don't normally do those. I don't want to destroy my cards. Okay, I'll build a destroy deck so I can destroy the
yeah.
cards to win that thing.
And see, I'm fine with it in Snap, like completely, but I guess it's just how I don't, where Snap is like just purely just this card game, this pick up, put down. I don't honestly feel like the same investment that I did in like Diablo thing. I think it's just mostly I've been trying to figure out like why I had such a reaction to seeing like it'll have a battle pass, season pass, and I was like, oh, it's just because that's not how I want to play that game. I totally get Snaps like, okay, where you said they're like, oh, have destroy cards. I'm like, oh, this is great because that's going to probably push you to at least try out this other deck type.
Yeah.
Um,
It did.
and it does, and that's the whole point. Is it's like this is a multiplayer game, PvP game where you're going against each other, and it's good to have those uh, meta designs that are pushing players to experiment in different ways to keep to keep the gameplay pretty more exciting. But I don't want that in Diablo in that way. I don't want a battle pass where it's like, well, you go play this class or use this type of weapons or do these. I'm like,
Yep.
I just want to play the game how I want to play it. Like, there's so much to do in these games, especially like Diablo. I don't need something telling me, oh, complete these missions. I guess it's similar to like Lost Ark. I thought Lost Ark was fine. It was just once I got to in game of it, quote, I was like, well, I have to log in. I have to do dailies in it. I'm like, I don't want to do that. I just want to play an action RPG.
Right.
And even other like free to play action RPGs like Path of Exile, which just had a league that start and I've been playing it. They don't do any of that junk. Like, play the game.
It's the
Play it how you want to play it.
Make more money.
I know it is, and I know it's like, okay, this is how games make money now, and this is if you're a live service game, you need to have a season pass. Yeah. And I should say, I think Path of Exile has a season pass. I don't think it matters though.
You can choose to engage with it or not, which maybe is the best kind of season pass. If you want extra engagement,
true,
check it out. If you don't, then great.
That's Genshin. That's Genshin's.
Yeah, right.
Genshin's like you don't even have to like. It doesn't really change, and it doesn't have. If you want to engage with it, cool. If not, all right, you're out. It's just some resources. It's nothing. It doesn't make you feel like you have to be doing it.
I feel like the best season passes are kind of like, I mean, Snap does it too, but Rocket League, where it's there if you want it. You get extra stuff at each tier. Otherwise, it doesn't change the game. Like, it's all cosmetic anyways. Like, it's basically like, do I want to give them money because I'm really appreciating the game? And then that's when I usually buy the pass. Like,
yeah.
Snap. I'm like, this game fucking rocks. Yes, I'll buy the pass.
Yep. So yeah. So that's just the thing on 4. I was like, I just kind of want to play Diablo. Maybe Diablo 2 Resurrected is what I'm waiting. All I need. Maybe that's all I truly need.
To be perfectly honest, and I've been thinking about it for the last couple of days, when I'm finally able to buy fucking Diablo games, when Microsoft owns it, I'm probably going to play Diablo 2 first. Resurrected. Because, god damn it. It's one of my top 5 games of all time, and I can't play that fucking thing yet.
That might just be enough.
No chance Kodak retires before this fucking happens, right?
No, not at all. He's got it. No, he's going to get paid. He's got to get paid first.
I hate that I'm hurting myself because this guy's a dick. It just makes it like it doesn't do anything to him. But
no, not at all. He doesn't give a damn if you buy it or not. Exactly. His millions are made if this deal goes through or not. Yeah.
But shit. Anything else that came out on the Game Awards?
Armored Core 6.
Oh my God, I forgot about that shit.
I knew that it was being made. They've rumored for a while that it's been in work. I haven't actually played. No, it's not true. I played Armored Core 2. It was the first game I ever played on a PS2.
Oh wow.
And I got my ass kicked. I did not understand what that game was. I had never. I mean, it's launch PS2.
Yeah.
It looked incredible, but I didn't know what FromSoft did. I never played any other games on the PS1. I didn't know who this company was. I mean, most people didn't at that point.
Right.
They just made this cool looking mech game, which did look really cool, and it beat the crap out of you.
And young Anthony is definitely playing a mech game.
I was like, okay, because it came out. That would have been our 2000 sophomore year of college. Yeah, that's when I did it. I didn't own the PS2. I just rented it. I rented it and a couple launch games over a weekend.
Yeah.
And so now knowing what From Software does, I'm interested to go back to their mecha game and see if I can do better at it this time and understand what's going on, and not die constantly. But it looks gorgeous.
It looks great. I'm so impressed with, and I hope it's not a factor of crunch. Maybe it is. I've heard some things about FromSoft lately. But the fact that they got Sekiro and then fucking Elden Ring, which is massive, and then they got Armored Core locked in for next year. Man, they have a good cadence.
They do. I'm sure this was in the development the same time as Elden Ring.
Yeah.
I'm almost certain.
They've got several teams, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think they at least have 2 teams. They are 350 employees
Oh
as
yeah,
of
yeah,
2022.
right.
So they have 2 to 3 teams. I would
Yeah.
bet there's 2 main teams and then a third like incubation team
Hmm.
that's spinning up whatever their next thing is. I bet there's a team right now working on Elden Ring DLC because I
Yeah.
still expect that game to get one more. This trailer started and I was like, this is going to be Elden Ring DLC, isn't it?
And then it
Not
wasn't.
not exactly.
It's probably good that they put the Elden Ring Coliseum DLC a couple days before this, because if that would have started and that was all there was, people would have been like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
Um,
Um so yeah, I think they have 2 teams working on stuff. There's an Elden Ring team right now. There's probably a team working on Armored Core right now, and then a small incubation team on Bloodborne 2 or something. We can be somewhat
I was
hopeful,
gonna
but
say,
some
is that
other
ever
game.
gonna happen? Although
I
I
don't
wouldn't
know.
have
I
said
don't know.
Hades 2 was gonna happen, so
Yeah. Um,
anything's possible.
there's a good chance that it could happen. It's just a matter of, again, 350 people. These games do take a fair amount of people. They can't make everything all at once, and really, it has to do with someone there really being passionate about it, wanting to make it at the executive level.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure Miyazaki is like hit armored. He did some Armored Cores, I believe. I'm trying to remember which ones he worked on. Right before he did 4, like he worked on 3 Armored Cores before he ever touched Souls
Oh wow.
stuff. So like this is his baby, I
Yeah.
think, in a lot of ways. So he's probably pretty passionate about having that. Um,
There was a lot of
so I don't
people
know.
who got into FromSoft from Elden Ring who were excited about what's next, and maybe this is a hard left turn for them. But
It might be,
yeah.
might not. When they did pick up their Game of the Year award, they thanked George R. R. Martin.
Oh, there you go. I didn't actually watch the speech, so
I did. That was translated, and they thanked Miyazaki thanked George R. R. Martin for the wonderful world and lore that he created for them.
well, it definitely added to this game. Um, I don't know. Yeah, story's not the biggest part of this game for me, but
It has some deep lore, though.
it. Oh fuck
Definitely.
yeah, it does.
Like he didn't cop out on the lore for them and the world building.
No.
He's like, no, here's a world. Now do what you want in it.
Yep. Exactly.
Which is crazy to me that he did that. That's probably why we're still waiting. I don't know,
Oh my god, he's fucking
another 5
500
years,
pages
10
left.
years.
500 pages left. That means he's 2/3 of the way through. He said that means, in 11 years he's written 2/3 of it. So another 5, 6. Fuck
Yeah.
this shit. Fuck me, man. Just
Yep.
and you know what? When we get that book, we won't get another one. So
No.
fuck, man.
Yep.
Whatever. Like, it's his life, but it was so sad.
Yeah.
Really sad.
But yeah, I feel like that's was the last kind of like big thing for me
Yeah.
from this show. Like for me, it was Hades 2, Judas, Final Fantasy 16 trailer, and then the Armored Core 6 trailer. Those 4, I was like, holy crap! Like this feels like what would normally be at an E3 presser.
Yeah. It really did feel like those type of bangers, and it was. I feel like there was a dearth of kind of showcases this year. Nintendo never did theirs. Sony never did
Yeah.
theirs. They didn't have anything to show, so they decided not to, I guess. But
Oh, they also showed Idris Elba coming to Cyberpunk.
oh, that's right. That's right.
I'm sorry, that was pretty. I was like, of course. CD Projekt is getting another big name actor. And yeah, crazy, but
It's,
yeah, it was a good show overall. I'm very happy with it.
yep, me too. So what have you been playing this week?
Um, Marvel Snap,
Mm-hmm.
so much Marvel Snap.
Oh yeah.
Well, clearing my missions, and honestly, I find myself just playing every once in a while, just feeling like I've got 10 minutes. I'm gonna play a couple games.
That's what I've been doing too. It was 2 nights ago. I woke up in the middle of the night for some reason. I was like, God, what the fuck? Why am I awake? Guess I better play around a snap. Fucking did, and then I went back to sleep. Like that was weird. That was
That was weird, but yeah, it's how that goes.
on level 17 of the current season pass.
Where am I? I'm not. Are you playing more than me? You might be playing more than me. You are. I'm only on 15.
Oh wow, I'm a little ahead of you. Wow.
But I've completed all the seasonal missions so far, so
Yep.
I think you just put more time in than me.
Well, apparently I'm waking up at 3 a.m. and
Playing some time,
playing
playing
some
it.
snap. Fuck.
But it's mostly been that. Trying to think, like a lot of nights this week, it's been a very mentally exhausting work week
Yeah.
for me. Like I've just been really having to think pretty hard about some problems. So light games have boiled to the top, and Snap was right at the top of that list. And then Path of Exile, as I mentioned, had a league start. So I'm playing some of that right now with just a different build, and their league mechanic this time is Hades, basically.
What?
Yeah, it's this whole separate game that you can and while you're playing your game, you can go into this. I think they call it the Sanctum, and it's a roguelite actually, because
Whoa.
there's things you collect. You do not use your normal health pool. You have like this new resource called Resolve, which if you get hit, you lose Resolve, not health. It's not about dying in that way. It's all about Resolve. And it's like, honestly, it takes a lot of inspiration from Hades in like how you get that Resolve back, and you get boons and the whole thing. But yeah, you get to choose like the rooms you're going through. Like you finish a room, and then you'll do more maps. Like just playing, you'll come across it again, and you can now choose the next room you want to go to. Completing it, and you get special rewards. It's just funny. I'm just like, you guys just put an entire another game mode in your game for people to just play.
Hades.
Like it's kind of like Hades Light, or Hades is like a isometric point and click action RPG, which is a very different thing.
Yeah.
But not what I would have expected them to just be like, yeah, we're just gonna try this. But that's what Grinding Gear, with this cadence of every 3 months doing a league and being a free-to-play game, they need to make the leagues very interesting. They can't just be like, oh, there's some new items. It's like, no, they want to add very mechanically heavy things to the game. So you get stuff like this sometimes, and I think the community has overall been really enjoying it. I've only touched it barely because I'm like, I'll deal with this once I level more. I don't. This is different. But the community, as far as I can tell, seems to really like it for the fact that it's separate and that it's not played exactly the same way like the rest of the game. Like I said, you're caring about Resolve, and you don't have ways to like mitigate Resolve loss. Like Path of Exile, like your health is just a pool that you kind of like spend as a resource a lot of times. And it fluctuates going up and down like Diablo 2 or any big action RPG. It's like very volatile.
Yeah.
Your health pool. Yeah, Resolve doesn't work like that. Resolve is like health in Hades, and you take hits and it goes down and it doesn't come back up. And your run's over whenever you lose all your Resolve. So it becomes more of a thing of like, oh, I don't want to just tank everyone's hits. I actually want to be moving and dodging and like reacting to these creatures, trying not to get hit by all the stuff that they're doing. So completely different way of playing. And honestly, I think it trains people in the game, at least, to be better players for the content outside of the game. Like being like, hey, if you're playing this game, like another way to play instead of face tanking everything is to actually try to respond to what enemies and bosses are doing to avoid damage. There's an actual skill there. So I don't know. It's been fun and interesting. I'm not super deep into my character right now, but it's been fun to come back to and play a little bit more there. But really, that's all I've done this week.
Well, that's cool. That's still some fun stuff this week. I agree with you. Work hasn't been that stressful. It's been a lot. So I get to, my wife goes to bed around 9:30. Like, okay, I can make music or play games. I'm going to sleep. All right. I'm just laying on the couch and falling asleep. So I've actually went to sleep a lot this week. Um, but I have played Snap the most, obviously. And then I have played. Was there something? Fuck, I am totally blanking on what it was. I played. Oh, Splatoon 2. There we go. Got it. We in the morning, my daughter and I play every other morning for about half an hour, and I asked her what she wanted to play. She's like, I want to play something on Switch, something we haven't played in a long time. So I go through the library of games and get to Splatoon 2, and she's like, that's it. So we play, and I show her how to play with the controller, and the motion controls, and then the basically left to go into the ink and right to shoot the ink, and that's kind of it. There's other stuff to do, but that's mainly for her. It's fine. She watched me once, and then she's like, I want to play, and then she just kept playing.
Okay.
And she won several matches with her team, and one time she was second place on her team, and she was so happy. And she's just getting the mechanics of Splatoon, like the multiplayer. And then I played one more time and did I don't know if you played Splatoon. I don't know if you have.
No, I've never played Splatoon.
Okay. Well, at the beginning, when you die and you come back, you can hit X or you can touch on the touch screen. Your the people on your team, your teammates who are in a different part of the map. So instead of running to them, it'll just shoot you right to them.
Okay.
And I did that, and my daughter just looked at me and was like, "What did you do? How do you do that, Daddy?" So I taught her to do that too, and then she's just been having a ball. We don't play with any of the tools that look like weapons or that look like guns. I mean, so any of the like the N65s, that not N60, God damn it, not N64, the NES zapper, or anything that looks like an actual gun. We don't use. So she uses the paint roller or the paintbrush.
Okay.
But she's just having a blast, and she was so excited when her team won, and she was high up on the ranks and was calling us to come or calling mom to come in and watch 'cause I was with her to see that she had won. And yeah, she was just like thinking of different strategies. Like, I need to go where cover all the area around the starting place where no one has covered because we'll get more points. And then just she was mapping out. It does two maps, so you really play the same map over and over again. And she was like learning the map and learning where to go. And then at the end of the match, when 2 minutes are over, it shows the entire map with the colors on it, and she looks at it and can tell who's won and who's lost, and has never been upset losing, just excited to like try again. So we played Splatoon 2 like 3 mornings this week. She was really into it, and we haven't touched that in a long time, so that was pretty cool. And I'm glad that there are still people playing Splatoon 2, even though Splatoon 3 is out. So it's easy to get games. And she was very excited that she was playing with people from Japan. And my wife, I went to cook breakfast, and my wife sat with her while she was playing. And my wife called like 5 minutes later. She's like, "This is an online game. She's playing with people online." And I was like, I understood why she was saying that. I was like, "It's a Nintendo game. She cannot chat with those people. They
Yep.
cannot talk to each other." She's like, "Oh, okay, good." And I was like, "Okay, Nintendo, good for you. This is why you do that." And
This is why they do that.
yes, and people like me find that annoying. It would be nice to communicate with players sometimes, but it's actually better because then the kids can't do that. And my wife was very happy that they could not communicate. So yeah, that's it. It's snapping this, man. I wanted to load up Marvel's Midnight Suns several times this week, and I loaded up one time, and I was in the Abbey, and I completed one part of the Abbey quest and started a new one, and it was just a ton of reading, which is fine, but it was late, and I was already tired. And I was like, I turned off after 5 minutes. I was like, I want to play this, but I'm so fucking tired. I can't read right now. So I turned it off. But I do want to get back to it. I picked up Sparks of Hope, have not played it yet. But I did grab it on Amazon, and then it went down $10 on Amazon like 2 days later.
Really?
It did. It went down to $31.
Holy crap.
So yeah, exactly. But it was a ship date of January 5th. So
Oh, okay.
it was from Amazon, but it was like, oh, okay, well, shit. So I'll definitely play it before then. But man, I've just been so fucking tired this week. Yeah. So
I can understand that.
yep, that's all. So it's been a fun week. Fucking Game Awards were killer.
Yeah.
And been just loving Snap. So many, as you get higher and higher, you're like, wow, I just got my ass kicked. And for some reason, I don't know what the fuck happened, but I had like 3,000 credits. Excuse me. And then one day I had none, and I was like, did I spend my credits somehow? 'Cause I upgrade my cards every day, so I wonder if I've just spent so much
Yeah,
doing that,
probably. Um,
or if I spend it in my sleep.
that's possible too.
It's like
Uh,
3 a.m. Like, oh, but no. Oh, I was gonna talk about Snap real quick. I loaded up the shop and it's like, oh, and it had Storm and Gambit from the
yeah.
90s cartoon. I was like, oh my god, so what? Two variant cards, two avatars, and like some credits for $30? Are you
Oh yeah.
fucking kidding me?
Oh yeah. They
No.
are they are they are going. Well, I mean, the Apocalypse bundle they had going on that they still have going on that went up first. If you do the conversion of gold to that bundle, it's $100.
Holy
But I mean,
shit.
if it's gold, it's you could have theoretically for people that are in beta, if they hadn't spent any gold,
Yeah.
they probably have that amount of gold that they could spend on it.
Right.
And it sounds like going like it's still a free to play mobile game. The best value in the game if you're going to play is clearly buying the season pass.
Oh yeah.
Like it is by far the most lucrative amount of um, dollars to just things you can get. But these other bundles are them testing their market.
Holy
Like
shit. Well,
truly doing, I mean, call it whale bait, call it what you will. They're
yep.
just like, all right, how much will people pay for pure variants? Like, if you don't have Gambit or Rogue, this will give you Gambit and Rogue.
And I don't.
But you'll eventually get the normal Gambit. It doesn't like stop it from being in the pool 3 cards that you're eventually going to have to
Yes,
unlock it.
right.
It's like
Mhm.
it's just like if you want them now, you'll get them now. That's gonna happen.
Yep.
But it's no $30. No.
Damn.
I was trying to think of like, okay, what price could this be at that I would like $10. I'd probably do it.
That's where I'm at too. Like $9.99, I probably would have bought it, but that's as high. That's like that
Yeah.
still feels a little high.
But and I yeah, the thing is because I do see a lot of people and they're like, man, they're just like, well, they would if they just sold this lower, more people would buy it. And I'm like, they're not putting these prices off the cuff. Someone behind the scenes is like, there's a lot of data from free to play games and just out there on like setting markets and prices and the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't some arbitrary amount that they $30. They're like, it's high. Like they specifically chose that because they want to test something by doing it.
Yep.
And they feel like they can actually make good amount of money on that. I guarantee you there's a small percentage of people that are going to buy it at that price.
Oh, for sure.
Hands down, just immediately.
Yep, because that $30 for them is nothing.
Yeah.
But I'm just not sure if that's
It's not for me. I don't give a damn.
Yeah.
Like, and I think going forward, if you just tend to, I was looking at some things. There'll be consistent bundles now, probably once a month or every couple months, that are gold-based bundles, not like the $100 worth gold Apocalypse one, but more moderate levels of that. That's like, hey, if you're just a free-to-play player and you're just buying the season pass or not, every few months you could have enough gold to get one of these bundles, and the gold bundles seem to be a much higher value for what you get out of them.
Yeah.
So even if you're just, I'm not going to spend money on this, it's like, well, then you just save your gold. Don't buy variants with your gold. And then just buy a bundle every few months with the gold that you're just collecting from playing.
Sometimes those variants are so cute.
There are, and I've bought a few of them because there's been some just ones that come through, and I'm like, I really like the look of that, and I want that, and I play that card a lot.
Yes, that's the thing, is that if I play the card, there's an American Chavez variant that I really liked.
There's in my shop right now, there's a Captain Marvel, Miss Marvel variant.
Oh,
God,
shit.
it looks real good.
Dang. I don't have that in my shop right now.
Yeah, because you only see variants in your shop that you have cards you
Yeah,
own.
that makes sense.
They're not. They don't try to.
Yeah.
They won't
That'd be
sell you
shitty.
something you don't own. There's an like a Wolverine X23 variant in my shop. That's cool.
I've got
but
a 20 or 3099 variant of Nokia. It looks
Okay.
pretty fucking rad. Oh man,
Yeah,
that
I mean,
Storm variant, by the way, is pretty rad.
yeah, and they just gave everyone a Storm variant.
Yeah.
Not, I mean, that's the thing. I'm like, yeah, it's still a free to play game. They're still trying to whale bait and everything,
Yep.
but it's definitely a game where I'm like, they're trying to figure out how to make some amount of money because really, if you don't want to spend money in this game, it's probably the nicest game to you for not spending money.
Yes. Right.
Like, shockingly so.
Yep.
Like, there's not really a barrier. You just don't spend money, but you play the game and you still get new things. Like,
Well, I still just love the attention to detail and the fucking abilities, like rogues.
Yeah.
Steal an ongoing ability from a random enemy card at this location. Like,
Yep.
of course, man. Fucking take off your glove, touch your fucking enemy.
yep,
Oh god, it's so fucking good.
it's a fun game. It's a fun card game.
How is it possible that this is fucking in my gonna be possibly my game of the year, but certainly in the top 5? Like
I wasn't expecting it for myself, but here we are. I mean,
Yep.
they made a good digital card game. They really did. Ben Bro took a lot of, and the people that came with him from Hearthstone took a lot of lessons
Yep.
and applied them, especially when they weren't coming with the baggage of Blizzard and those properties on top of it. Like,
Yep.
well, they got the baggage of Marvel, but clearly Marvel's like, yeah, go to town. Do what you need to do. Here's a bunch of art. Go.
Too cool. Well, I'm gonna be
Yeah.
playing a lot more of that this week.
Yeah.
Hopefully not in the middle of the night, but Jesus.
And if it happens, it happens. At
It
least
does.
there's something to like do whenever you randomly wake up in the middle of the night. I know how it goes.
Help me calm myself down.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, I can go back to sleep now. Cool. Well, this is episode something 364, I think is what it is. Prof and Dev Play Games. If you like us, rate us on your podcast service of choice, and we shall be back next week to talk more video games as we wrap up the year and try to get through a few more games for Game of the Year consideration. One game I'm going to pick up this week and play. It's pretty short, and I want to check it out because I've been hearing some buzz from some corners of the internet. Is Super Kiwi 64 on the Switch.
Okay.
Have you heard of this?
No.
It's basically it's a 3D platformer collectathon like Banjo-Kazooie, Mario 64, Donkey Kong 64. It's $3. It's like an hour-long experience, and it looks like a fucking N64 era collectathon game.
Oh, I'm looking at it. Holy crap.
So, it's the Vampire Survivors just the right price. I will pick it up for $3 to see what it's like.
Yeah. Yep.
'Cause I like
It's on Steam for $3 as well.
There you go. Perfect.
Okay.
I like
Sure.
those
Why
gun
not?
games, so I will check it out, and hopefully I will report back next week if I don't fall asleep on the couch with my Switch on my face.
It happens.
It does. All right, folks. See you next week.
Later, everyone.